It's over. It's over. Even the Advocate, which is like a gay newspaper that's been around since probably the 1980s, I suppose, even they are saying, yeah, it was suicide. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
This story is shameful in the way that the left portrayed it. They trying to convict 3 young girls of murder before they had the facts in. Now the full autopsy has been released, and guess what? There's no doubt about it. It was a suicide. Whether it was accidental or not, no one will ever know. Okay, but here is the story. In The Advocate, this is hardly some right-wing journal, guys. This is probably the preeminent LGBTQ news outlet on the planet. And the story, breaking, Nex Benedict's autopsy report released. All of you out there wanting to have these girls convicted, listen and weep. By the way, there's Nex Benedict. Does it look like she's all busted up and cut up and everything? No. That should have been a clue that the fight wasn't as vicious as it was portrayed. The much anticipated full autopsy report for Nex Benedict, a 16-year-old transgender and indigenous student from Owasso High School. I'm not so sure that she was indigenous, but I have another video on that coming up. Who died in February, was released Wednesday, offering a more comprehensive understanding of the events leading to his tragic death. Benedict used he, him, okay. Benedict's death had previously been classified as a suicide by the Oklahoma Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, citing combined toxicity from fluoxetine and diphenhydramine as the cause. Fluoxetine is Prozac and diphenhydramine is Benadryl. Benedict had endured bullying and an assault at school, which had raised significant questions about the environment in which he lived and the protection offered to LGBTQ plus youth. Keep in mind, no mention here that Nex started the fight. Okay, we're not going to get into those kind of details. Oh no, it had to be murder. All right. And as far as the environment in which he lived, there is a lot of information coming out about Nex's home life. It's pretty sad. And evidently, the notes that Nex wrote kind of pointed out towards those things more than anything else. That's only conjecture, but the medical examiner did say that the notes did not point to anything towards the fight or the school. The full autopsy report delves into greater detail than the initial one-page summary previously released, providing insight into the physical injuries Benedict sustained and the levels of medication present in their system at the time of death. Despite the traumatic experiences Benedict faced, including the physical assault the day before his death, the report highlighted that there were no lethal injuries, including an absence of injuries to the brain. This detail is significant, revealing the fact that the physical trauma observed on Benedict's body, which included non-lethal injuries like bruises, cuts, and scrapes, did not extend to brain damage. This is the Advocate talking, everybody. This is not the American Spectator or the Daily Oklahoman. This is the Advocate. These findings shift the focus towards a combination of medications found in Benedict's system at the time of death. Specifically, toxicology results pinpointed the cause of death to the combined effects of fluoxetine, an antidepressant, and diphenhydramine, an antihistamine that is also commonly used as a sleep aid. According to the report, the levels of these drugs were significantly higher than therapeutic ranges. In other words, they weren't taken as directed. Now, you may be still skeptical. Hey, wait a minute, that doesn't mean anything. How do we know that those levels were enough to kill Nex? Well, hang on. The Advocate consulted Dr. Joshua King, the medical director of the Maryland Poison Center, to better understand the toxicology results. King said that while the fluoxetine values weren't necessarily alarming, the diphenhydramine amount was. And here's a quote from him. The fluoxetine levels aren't dramatically elevated, but the diphenhydramine ones are. That would be in a range compatible with other reports of patients dying from diphenhydramine overdose. He noted that a person suffering from a fatal overdose would usually suffer seizures, cardiac arrhythmias, or both, and that is exactly what happened with Nex. Bruises, scratches, and cuts to Benedict's face, while not contributing directly to his death, according to the report, paint a vivid picture of the struggles he endured. In other words, oh, darn it, oh, we wanted murder, but we can't go with murder now. But you know what? The fight still shows it. He suffered. Okay, we're going to try to rescue the narrative somehow, but even the advocate is admitting that it's over. Okay. The documentation of medical interventions attempted before Benedict's death, including resuscitation efforts evident from the injuries related to CPR, highlights the efforts made to save his life. Well, wait, they tried to save his life? I thought that Oklahoma was so anti-trans that they would have let Nex die right there, right? Come on. It's a kid. Everybody is saddened to hear of the news. Okay, and then it's going to go on talking about, the usual boilerplate you always catch with these kind of stories. At any rate, guys, it's over. It was suicide. Even the advocate is saying it. I think it's time to go look for someone else who has died of unfortunate circumstances and raise them to be a cause celeb for purely political reasons. Leave Nex out of it. He or she, or whatever pronoun he or she goes by, didn't deserve this at all. The Owasso Public Schools should have called the police. They didn't, but it would not have mattered. Calling the police would not have saved Nex's life. And according to the police officer, the person at the public schools who was supposed to call was very upset about her forgetting to call them. She didn't blow this off at all. She simply forgot. The Owasso Police Department didn't do anything wrong. They handled this pretty well. Yeah, they made some mistakes maybe when it came to the press releases, but their investigation was spot on. The medical examiner, his report is spot on. Everybody worked together here and did a pretty decent job of it, and they didn't deserve to be criticized just because everybody wanted this to be a murder so badly. So there are 3 young girls out there who can now move on with their life. And for that, we should be happy, okay? They didn't cause her death, and they shouldn't be persecuted. Like my video, subscribe to my channel.